Welcome back to One Ogden. I'm Sheena Miles. It's the day before Halloween. Let's start the show. That's right, it's One Ogden. This episode is brought to you by Treasure Trove, down on Washington Boulevard. It's the only place you can buy a Manchester United blanket for $10 one day and then regret it a few days later when it's only $3. It's another exciting episode this week. In a minute, you're going to meet my wife because she does awesome things and she's been working to get a new playground at Green Acres Elementary with the Green Acres PTO, and they're looking for community support. I also went down to Onstage Ogden to hear about 4 different events they've got going on in the next week, including a Dia de los Muertos event, an African-themed Cirque show, and a presentation by a paleontologist on dinosaurs. But before we get into all of that stuff, I've been feeling excited about this show lately. We've been trying a lot of new stuff. Every episode has been different. We're trying out a lot of different kinds of segments, and that's what I want to keep doing because it's cool, and I'm not trying to fit into any kind of box around here. I know people don't watch things live. I don't watch things live, and you are free to watch this show whenever it's convenient for you. No pressure on the live thing, but I do think there could be something cool there. I think in the same way that you text with a friend during a football game or go on to the Survivor subreddit while the latest episode is airing and sort of talk about it with people, I think we could do that with Ogden. I think having a show like this and a time like that available could turn into something. And I know it'll take time. It's just a thought I've had. So, I would encourage you guys to get in the comments. We've got a Discord we're setting up as soon as people are ready for that kind of thing. All right, let's look at the news. Trader Joe Biden came to Riverdale this last week. Trader Joe, I don't know about this one. I saw it caused a pretty big stir. I guess he was in the old Shopco building in Riverdale. We'll look into that one and report back. That sounds weird. Okay, for the first 2 weeks in November, it's Ogden Eats Local. All kinds of local restaurants will be offering special menu items at special prices. A list of participating restaurants and menus can be found on the Visit Ogden website. This is what used to be called Ogden Restaurant Week, and I guess now there's just a few tweaks, including maybe some higher prices. I heard a rumor once this was just a way for local food distributors to clear out their inventory, we got a bunch of duck. Let's push duck stew. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it doesn't matter. What does matter is you want to support these local restaurants. They usually taste better. Put the money that you spend in your neighbor's pockets instead of a corporation's pocket is what I believe. Keep your money here in Ogden. And, encourage more local businesses to open and to stay open. Okay, so first up this week, I went down to Onstage Ogden. I met with James. He told me about the events they've got coming up over the next week, quite a few of them, pretty different events, and I'm just going to let him tell you about them. So here's James.
Onstage Ogden founded in 1949 to bring the Utah Symphony here to Ogden. Last year we celebrated our 70th anniversary, so that was 1949, Ogden High School. The Utah Symphony is still a core part of what we do, but this year we've got 30 concerts, 4 different venues across Ogden of all different types of genres. Aside from Utah Symphony, we also have a partnership with Ballet West down in Salt Lake, but really our role then in the community otherwise is bringing these nationally touring artists to Ogden. Whether that's smaller stuff that's happening at the Monarch or some of the largest scale spectacle things we could put on over at Weber State. This weekend we have a Tournamente, a Dia de los Muertos spectacular. Really cool to actually have it on November 1st. We landed actually having them here on Dia de los Muertos. It's 30 people on stage. It's Mariachi Jaime Cuellar is the big mariachi group that'll be with it, plus Ballet Folklorico del Rio Grande from Texas. A cool holiday piece, and we definitely see a good audience shaping up for it for Saturday. Yeah, Pierre's Egyptian Theater. Start at 7:30, and we've had this group in a couple times. We actually had them in last year for more of a Christmas holidays performance called Campana sobre Campana. Had really good turnout with the community. We actually did that one out of Weber States. And the mariachi group has actually been here a couple other times, again, for some of these holiday pieces. So when we found out they were doing something Dia de los Muertos themed, we thought that'd be kind of a cool addition to the roster this year. Next week is our busiest week. I don't know whose idea this was, but we actually have 3 concerts next week. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We kick it off Wednesday with Cirque Calabante. It's an African-themed Cirque show that'll be at Weber State. Wild show, really cool. They also have like live musicians playing authentic instruments on stage for the duration of the performance. It's going to be very cool. Thursday, the Utah Symphony is back. It's what we call our Masterwork series. So it's like a Tchaikovsky piece. Also Fauré's Requiem, which is like a really big piece with a choir and all that. For us, it's a special one. Again, this historic relationship with Utah Symphony. This will be the first performance in Ogden by the new conductor, Marcus Poshner. It's like the conductors, because of this relationship they've had with Ogden, have become these characters here locally, going all that back to Marisa Bravanel. He was very known by audiences here in Ogden. Most recently, it was Terry Fisher. He's now their conductor emeritus. And he left for greener pastures a couple of years ago, but this will be our first performance with Marcus Poshner. He is a big deal, big deal conductor. He's conducted some of the largest European orchestras, conducted all over the world, and that he's now going to be full-time with the Utah Symphony. It's kind of a big deal, and very cool to be welcoming to Ogden next week. And then Friday, we keep the party going. We have National Geographic's The Rise of T-Rex, which is actually she's a paleontologist. She got her master's, I think, from U of U. But she's a paleontologist all over the world, has made super important discoveries in dinosaur fossils, and she's going to come talk about the rise of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Super cool part of that day is, well, we'll have the public performance Friday night. We also have a special student matinee that morning where we bring in kids from all over Ogden School District, Weaver School District, to bring them in for a special performance specifically catered to students. We're doing a few of those this year. Think TED Talk. We did it last year with the National. This will be our second year in a row. Last year we did it with National Geographic's Wild Wolves of Yellowstone, where again they had very cool footage of wolves. And the guy who reintroduced wolves into Yellowstone was the guy talking, right? And he was there kind of giving the presentation. You could say like, oh, I know that wolf. So yeah, think TED Talk with an awesome PowerPoint presentation behind it. Greater than the sum of its parts. It's going to be one of my favorite things of the year. It's certainly not inappropriate for kids. But it's certainly not dumbing it down for the parents, right? Like the wolves piece last year was actually like really fascinating, really interesting, had some interesting science behind it. But in the end, like it is kind of like this childlike wonder of like, look at these crazy animals, or like, like we're gonna be talking about T-Rex, and it's got the really cool video along with it. So, we don't say like all of our shows are always for everybody, but like yeah, certainly I think it's kind of like an all ages piece next Friday for sure. So, kicking it off next week, November 5th, Wednesday, with Cirque Calabante over at Weber State. We'll be back at Weber State then Thursday night with the Utah Symphony, with the new maestro Marcus Poshner conducting Tchaikovsky and Fauré's Requiem. And then finishing off the week at Peary's Egyptian Theater Friday night with National Geographic's Rise of T-Rex. Tickets on sale online and over the phone and at the box office, but onstageogden.org, you can keep track of all the concerts we've got going this year. 30 different performances, but onstageogden.org.
Okay, I'm really excited to introduce my wife. She's also the president of the PTO, parent-teacher organization, down at Green Acres Elementary, and they're working on getting a new playground. Please welcome Sheena Miles. Thanks
Hello.
for being here. How'd you get into the PTO?
So I have been involved in the PTO for about 5 years. It first started with me walking into a meeting when Ava was in first grade, naively expecting a whole gym full of parents ready to dig in and make a difference. And it was actually about 5 women sitting around a table. And so I was just inspired and felt like it was my duty to do what I could to help.
How'd the playground start?
So I served for 2 years on the board before I took over as president. And I mean, even before we started going to that school, the playgrounds in our neighborhood, obviously, we would take the kids over. And so the first time I went over there, I noticed that it was in desperate need of an upgrade. We have a life skills unit at Green Acres that has 13 students, and all of those students are in the upper grades, which when we say upper, that's 4th through 6th grade. We do have a small inclusive playground on the kindergarten side that was donated by the Weber Foundation 10 years ago. But it's small, it's gated, it's over on the younger playground side. And so we just really felt like those kids are being even more isolated from their peers. And so that's kind of what inspired us to go with the all-inclusive route. We've also been working really closely with North Ogden City, and the south end of North Ogden is the fastest growing area of the city, and they really don't have the green space to support it. So we have full support of North Ogden City in not only benefiting the 500 students that attend Green Acres every day, but in creating this inclusive play space for the surrounding community.
So do you know how much money you need?
Yeah, that has been another shocking discovery, is how expensive playgrounds are. So over the last 3 years, material and labor costs have tripled, making this a very expensive project. So we're looking at about $700,000 to upgrade both sides. All of us were shocked at what the total cost would be. None of us were expecting that. I mean, when I went into it, I was thinking maybe $150,000. Together with the school, over the past 3 years, we have raised over $50,000 to go towards that. We're also in the process of applying for a ramp grant, which is an Ogden City grant. It's a matching grant. So in order to get the highest score possible on your grant application, they really like you to have at least 50% of your project in cash. We've got lots of in-kind donations. We've partnered with North Ogden City. They're donating over $30,000 to expand the footprint of our playground. We've partnered with Weber High for their quarters and cans fundraiser that they do every Christmas. They are going to give us a portion of their proceeds, which will be so helpful, and we're really excited about that. But we really need $150,000 more dollars by January, beginning of January, to position us for that ramp grant application. Weber School District is very limited in the ways that they can support us. They don't have money in the budget. So, but they are donating in kind. So they will be helping us in removing the sand, taking the existing equipment down, and then our plan, what we're hoping, if we can get the money to support it, is to do turf on our inclusive side, which will make that fully accessible and ADA compliant, which is really important to us.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the floor, and then just everything up will be new. Our plan is, it's a really cool park.
The district doesn't have any money for playgrounds?
The support that we're getting financially from the district is $5,000 from the Weber Foundation in the form of a grant. That is available for every school in the district to apply for. I believe it's every 2 years. So they have offered that if we want to apply for that $5,000 and put it toward this project, we can. That's the only financial support that the district is able to provide.
So I guess there's no taxpayer funding for playgrounds. Is that right?
No. It's my understanding that what the district provides as far as playgrounds is an initial install. Beyond that, they have no money to maintain the playgrounds. They have no money to replace them. They just don't prioritize that in their budget. They're stretched very thin. And a lot of that has to do with the new safety bill that has been passed by Congress 2 years ago. Congress?
Mm-hmm. State legislature?
State legislature, which is requiring all of these schools to meet these certain safety guidelines. And they've got deadlines on each of the different safety upgrades that they want them to have. So they have a deadline to become compliant. And the state, in passing that bill, only provided 50% of the funding. So the other 50% is put on districts to fill in that gap, and it's millions of dollars.
Okay. So any money districts might have had is going toward these safety upgrades.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel like is something, as a community, we want to maybe look at. How is the district spending their money, and could we prioritize it in different ways to make it go further?
What would you say to people who say material costs are high, money's all allocated already, let's just wait 5 years to upgrade the park?
I would say that based on the current condition of that park, if we wait 5 years, I'm not joking when I say I'm literally afraid of collapse and like children getting seriously hurt and lawsuits. It is not safe anymore if we just continue to let it deteriorate. So I think the time is now. We've been working so hard behind the scenes for the past 3 years. We're coming up against some of our really hard deadlines, and we want to make this happen. One of the other reasons we need to do it now is because we don't want to lose the funding and support that we already have. So if we don't push this project forward, it would be starting from ground zero again. So our goal is to get the money raised by January, apply for the ramp, which the max amount you can apply for is $199,999.99. So we're going to apply for the full matching. If we get those funds, that will put us really close. And our plan would be to tear down and install over the summer and do a grand opening and have it ready for the 2026 school year.
Do you have a final design then for the new thing?
We do. We have it pretty final. We'll probably have some final tweaks and changes, but we've been working hard behind the scenes. We're getting multiple bids in order to comply with the district guidelines. You've got to have at least 3 bids. So we're pretty sure the company that we're going to partner with and work with, I can't release that yet because we're not under contract. But yes, our designs are pretty finalized with the ability to just tweak them and dial them in.
Is there a place people can find all that? Is that all on the Zeffy?
You can email me at greenacrespto1900@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media. The elementary school has a page, Green Acres Elementary. All of this will be posted there. QR codes that lead you to all of the different documents. And also the school website is a good place to go. Our task force document also will include everything that you need to know to get fully educated on this project. What our goals are, what our renderings look like, the reasons why we're doing it, who it will benefit. We've got elevator speeches prepared, so you can it's a 30-second speech, so you can confidently approach anyone and talk about this. We would just love to have people jump on board, get behind us. And what we really need at this point, we've been working so hard behind the scenes. We have an executive committee. We have really influential people on that committee. We need boots on the ground. We need people in the community that are willing to get behind us, give us their voice, and their passion to help us push this over the finish line. So.
All right, and I've also been helping out Sheena by making this promotional video. We used a special guest. His name is Safety Phil. Some people from Ogden City might be familiar with him. He agreed to come out to the Green Acres playground and help do a preliminary safety check, and it's kind of fun. I'm going to show it to you now.
Hello, I'm Safety Phil. I've been brought here today to perform a preliminary assessment on this here playground. You know, I take safety pretty seriously. Around here, we call that being grizzly safe. And this place, not very safe. That will not do. Look at that gap. Not grizzly safe! Observe the decking. 1995 structural engineering, bowed completely out of spec. Something must be done. These grizzlies deserve better footing. This is not grizzly safe. Zip line. No handle? Can't zip on that. Oh. What we have here, call legacy soil. 30 years of bacteria, recess, lost fruit snacks, and possibly cat poop. Disgusting. Definitely not grizzly safe. Don't like this. Look at all this rust and peeled plastic. Not good. Not good at all. Ooh, not very safe, is it? Oh, sharp peeled plastic, oxidized metal. Not grizzly safe! These grizzlies, they deserve better than it most looks.
This playground needs a serious upgrade.
This playground is not sleigh. Literally chopped.
This playground stinks.
So here's the plan. We're raising funds for a new playground, one that meets today's safety standards, accessibility needs, and community spirit. So donate to our Zeffie campaign today. Spread the word. This message comes to you from Safety Phil.
Thank you, Safety Phil!
You're welcome.
Hey, careful there! This is unstable. Fly!
What do we do now, Safety Phil?
Take this. Be safe.
Finally, tonight, over the last week, we've been trying to find a way for federal employees to write in and tell us their thoughts anonymously, and I asked Chris Berrigan to read some of them for us. So, let's go to Chris.
Hi, this is Chris Berrigan with One Ogden, and we asked federal employees to anonymously share their thoughts on this past year, the changes in working conditions, and the shutdown. These are their own personal feelings and not the views of any government entity. Our first employee writes, "The actions of Congress are completely ridiculous. They're the ones that decide the budget, yet all of the employees are suffering. Federal employees would rather be working and not sitting at home during the shutdown. It's affecting the economy as the trickle-down effect hurts businesses, not getting the services that they need. The stress and anxiety of having to go back to the office was bad enough, and now we get left home, possibly with no pay. The anxiety is real." Our second writes, "Hey, One Ogden, this year has been mentally and physically draining. From the constant threats of the RIFs and the using of federal employees as pawns during the shutdown. Anxiety has been a best friend of mine this year, with worrying about losing my job and health insurance for my family, to now not getting paid and furloughed with no end in sight. Upper management has been pretty silent on any information concerning anything, leaving the rumors to fly like crazy. For my own mental being, I have to take it one day at a time." Another writes, "Besides the human toll, as an employee who is forced out of my job, I see what my organization, an organization that I care about, that I believe in, is being used. Its mission and ideals are being thrown aside. It makes me incredibly sad. It's like the cordyceps fungus in the form of political appointees that have affected the organization and turned it into a shell of what it was. It's a monster instead of a civil servant. The people are still inside being forced to be a part of it, to do nonsense, but they have to do it because they have to put food on their tables. They are really apolitical and they just want to serve their country and not the current hyper-political administration." This final one writes, "I work for the heat assistance, and the government shutdown is currently affecting us. We're not able to accept applications for the funding for the new season. So those trying to apply since October are being told that they will need to find assistance elsewhere. No applications are being accepted. In the event the shutdown goes on until the end of December, then we as workers would be at risk of losing our jobs. This is affecting everyone in some form or another. Those who are already being put on 48-hour shutoff notices will lose their services unless they can come up with the money or find another resource. Most of the other resources, such as the Salvation Army that helps with utility assistance, are also tapped out, understaffed. We encourage clients to look into food banks as a means to lessen the financial burden in other areas so they can pay their utilities, but with SNAP benefits not being paid out for November, there's going to be a stress on that resource as well. I'm not in politics, and I tend to have a viewpoint from all sides, but I am seeing a need for all community members right now, and it's not being met, not by our government, not by our state, and not by our city officials.
All right, so before we go, I'm going to just say one more thing. I'm going to get a little personal. This show is important to me, and it's not because it makes me feel important, but it's because it lets me make other people feel good. I love when somebody who feels like they have been working really hard at a project and hasn't gotten any shine for it gets an interview with me and gets some of my lights or my microphone in their face, and they feel a little bit seen and like the work they've been doing goes somewhere. I love that. And that's what this show is to me. And I've always been fairly bad at promoting the show because I don't want to feel like I'm self-promoting. So I'm asking for you guys to help support this show. I think it's a cool thing. I think we have great guests. I think sometimes we get a little boring with information, but I'm telling you, I got plans for that. So much is in the works with this new format and the ways that we can involve other talent and highlight all sorts of cool things in this community that I couldn't do with the old format. I am genuinely so excited for it, and I want to shout about it without feeling like a attention whore. So I'm asking you to help me. When you see guests on here that you like, share it. When you hear somebody say something cool that you feel like is an important part of our local conversation, I want you to help make other people know about it. I've been doing what I can to learn how to cut it up into shorts. It's not my expertise. None of this video stuff was my expertise, but that's how I like to learn, and I've been having a lot of fun, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But the more you guys can get into it with me and put your stamp on this and put your face here, the happier I'm going to be. So I got a lot of partners I'm working with. I'm excited to bring you more of it. I just want to use this community to do cool stuff. So yeah, go support some local stuff. Spend your money here. It's a pretty cool place. Go check it out. Thank you to everybody who helped out with this show this week. Have a good week, guys. We'll see you.